If you've been lamenting the lack of first-person shooters based on the First World War, I've got some good news for you. Verdun is a multiplayer trench warfare-based tactical shooter, and it's going pretty cheap on Steam. On top of that, it's excellent. Verdun is not for the faint of heart, however. It's much more comparable to Arma than it is to Call of Duty, although it has certain elements of both and can be a good bridge to military simulators and tactical shooters for someone who mostly plays action shooters. The combat leans military simulator heavy, with one round from a rifle killing you quite easily, and just 2 or 3 rounds from a pistol. It also pits you and the opposite team in a constant struggle to take the next line of trenches through no man's land, and creates the closest replication of World War I that I would want to have any part in. You'll spend most of your time in the field crawling through shell holes, desperately hoping that you won't get your head taken off by a machine gun, while you scan the bombed out battlefield for signs of movement you can snuff out with your rifle. The role of basic infantry is not the only one you can fill on the battlefield, however. You can assist your team from afar with a sniper rifle, hold firing lines with a machine gun, rush trenches with a pistol and a trench club, call in artillery and gas attacks as an officer, or pummel the enemy with even more explosives as a grenadier. So chances are, if you don't like filling one role, you'll be able to find something you do like. The trench warfare operates on a timer. At the beginning of the match, one team is the attackers and one is the defenders. The attackers have a given amount of time to take the enemy's frontline trench. If they gain a foothold, they get more time to capture the rest of the trench, and if they are successful, they have to then defend their captured ground from a counterattack from the enemy's second line of trenches. If they defend from this counterattack, then the front line shifts and the cycle repeats. However, if the defenders hold their trench from the attackers, then they go on the offensive, and the attackers must retreat and defend their frontline trench. This not only replicates the deadly trench warfare of the early 20th century, but also gives the matches a nice ebb and flow. It also ensures that you have enough time to learn the areas that you're fighting in, while constantly shifting you into new ones to keep things fresh. The elements of more action-oriented shooters start coming in the form of classes and loadouts. In Verdun, when you join a match, you choose a section of the Western Front to fight on, from Ypres to Verdun, and then within each of those areas you will choose a real squad from the Great War to fight in. Within that squad there are 4 different roles or classes, and each of those classes has 3 different loadouts you can unlock. As you play, you will gain experience points for things like capturing trenches, kills, headshots, etc. And when you level up, you gain a certain number of career points, which can be used to unlock new loadouts. As you play in a given squad, you will also gain XP for that squad, which will unlock you more abilities and perks. One of the problems with this system, however, is that artillery and gas attacks are locked perks for officers. So unless the officers on both teams have both of these perks, then it's just going to be infantry combat, which is still enjoyable, but the game really shines when you have gas and artillery shells going off all around you while you have to storm a trench. It just feels like a much more dynamic and complete battle when the officers on either side have all of their perks and abilities unlocked, which is not always the case. The sound design is spot on as well. All of the weapons sound powerful, and the strong recoil not only adds to the realism of combat, but makes the weapons immensely satisfying to use. Even the smaller caliber pistols still feel like a powerful and deadly machine of warfare. Artillery shells going off near you is a genuinely scary experience, and you can hear the deadly hiss of a gas shell going off in time to throw on your gas mask and find some cover. You can also hear soldiers and officers shouting in various languages as you move through the battlefield, which I thought was a really nice touch. The visuals are no slouch either, with dead animals, barbed wire, and hundreds of shell holes littering no man's land. In terms of technical prowess, the game holds up quite well. The game looked pretty good on max settings, and I didn't have a single technical hiccup, which is impressive for an indie team working on a large-scale multiplayer game. The only visual problem I have with the game is that it can sometimes be difficult to distinguish who is enemy and who is friendly. This is less a problem with the game, and more the fact that military uniforms at the time all look pretty similar, save the French ones. While striving for historical accuracy is great, I still think having a fun gameplay experience should be the first priority, and I think there are plenty of solutions to this problem, such as having a faint red outline or a name pop up when your sights go over the enemy at close range. Overall, Verdun is an excellent game and should fill that trench-sized gap in your heart for World War I multiplayer shooters for some time. Thank you for watching. Peace out.